Guys, welcome back to another episode here of Bokeh and Mocha. We're on, I believe, episode 15 now. So, wow, we're coming a long way. It's 15 weeks we've been doing this.
Our episodes now have their restricted license.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they're starting to learn how to drive now.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we've got some cool, exciting stuff for you guys today. We've actually brought on Brooke again. You guys probably remember her from a few of our episodes that we've done in the past. If you haven't, go back and watch them because there are some really amazing episodes. One of them was with Griff on street photography. Another one was with myself when we were doing portrait photography. And we also did
Another portrait one. One was in studio, one was out in nature.
Yep. So, but we decided to bring Brooke on more of a permanent role now. So, welcome to officially welcome to the Bokeh and Mocha podcast family, not just a guest.
Thank you.
Now, Brooke, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
I'm just saying I'm excited.
Okay.
New adventure.
We're excited for this new adventure as well too. Now, Brooke, you have pretty much zero experience in photography.
For the most part, I think.
That's as far as like with the professional grade that we're talking about.
Yeah.
You've picked up a camera, so you know how much it feels.
That's
all you
surprising.
need.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I have. I think I've had a semester of like an actual class, a semester or a year. Wonderful teacher. I learned a good amount, enough to get me by. But definitely there's a lot more to it than what can be covered in a school semester. It was my freshman year, so it's been a couple years.
Okay. Well, the great thing about this is, as you know from we talked about before, the Bokeh and Mocha podcast brings all three of our experience levels into one episode or one show itself. So an entry-level photographer as yourself is really what this show has been missing for the last few weeks. We've got Griff, who's been a photographer going into the professional world, and then we've got myself, who's got 20 years experience photographer and 15 years in a professional manner for that. So between the three of us, we now have that trio balance of what we've been wanting for this show for quite a while. So we're super excited to have you on here.
I'm excited to see what I learned.
It's a lot of pressure, but you're basically going to be the audience stand-in, if you will, where you'll be asking. We want to answer questions because the thing that Chris and I kind of get lost in the weeds in whenever it's just the two of us just talking, we're just like, oh, everybody that's watching this already knows what we're talking about. But in reality, it's like, we're throwing around terms like aperture, ISO, bokeh, for example, as well too.
Yep.
So.
And for all the other things we talked about, like when I do nature photography and things, it just becomes second nature for me. No pun intended there.
Yeah.
But second nature for me to be able to know what settings I need, everything that we work with. Yeah. But sometimes we need that break, that point of saying, wait, what does that mean? That's exactly what you're here for. We're super excited for this.
I'm excited.
Now, a little bit about yourself. You've been with us and taking the headshots and everything, but we've never really got to know you. So this episode is get to know Brooke. And we're super excited for the you seem super nervous for
It's very nerve-wracking to talk about myself.
Oh boy.
I talk about things I do, not myself.
Well, for the big point before we break for the more hard hitting questions after our break, just the 100-mile view of just really why you like photography, why you like to capture what's around.
Kind of a little bit of everything. I have always been big into acting, which I found out that I preferred recently to do film acting rather than stage acting. There's a huge difference there. I love to see behind the scenes of setting up all the cameras, the camera work, and just getting to see the difference of that in general. And then that kind of sparked another love for wanting to know, like I said, the behind the scenes, but such as a headspace, like how much room between the top of the camera or the top of the photo and the head, or how much you want here versus here, because each, I guess, angle determines a different thing from what I've been told.
Correct.
Like if you have it more zoomed in where you can only see this, it's like a dramatic or something. I haven't been told much about that, but that kind of sparked that joy almost.
But
That's awesome.
it's the fact that that you're curious about it too that makes it important. Technical director Abigail can probably attest to this as well too, and especially as somebody who has done sound for local productions and stuff like that. I value an actor or actress that like understands a little bit more on the technical side of what we're doing as well too. So like on like a film set, even though this is a photography podcast, a lot of that stuff that we're talking about translates into film in several different ways. And you know, having an actor on set who understands like, oh, I have to hit this mark because that's where I'm in focus. Not because like the director is just telling me to be mean or something like that. It's like, you know, what's the joke in theater? How many main actors does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Yeah, heard that one.
Yeah. The answer is none, because they can never find the light anyway.
The light finds them.
Exactly.
And what you just said on how our stuff transitions to film also transitions into photography as well. So same thing we were talking about, that dramatic shot of being that close in point. When we do that in photography, we're just taking a snapshot in time. So the same poses that you use in film will also translate into photography. And what's really nice is having somebody like you that's going to be in both worlds. We can be able to utilize the ability of crossover a lot easier. So you might even have a question of something that happened to you on set, and you could bring that here, and we could be like, "Yeah, let's talk about that." On the episode.
And I feel like it correlates with itself a lot, like you said. But that's kind of why I want to learn a little bit more about photography itself, because I know a good amount about the film side and film aspect. I mean, they're similar, but they're also very different, of course. But I'm pretty sure they have like the same shots, like we were talking about the dramatics. I've known the different angles of like lower versus higher. What?
Dutch angles.
I knew that. Yep.
Well, the good thing is we're going to dig a lot deeper on this episode into you and your just love for the entire genre of ography, because it's going to be videography, filmography, photography, all in the same one there. But we're going to have to take a quick break here for some commercials, and when we come back, we get to introduce more from Brooke. So we'll see you guys after the short commercial break. Welcome back to another episode here of Bokeh and Mocha, episode 15. We're going to be here with Brooke today. We've got a couple of questions that we want to be able to ask for you and try and get to know who you are. So, are you ready for this?
As ready as I can be.
I like to hear that.
Can I go ahead and start it off?
Go right ahead.
All right.
I'd love to hear
so, Brooke, I'm going to throw you a curveball here, and it's not to make you feel dumb or anything along those lines, kind of thing. Do you know what the definition of photography is?
Not the definition, no.
The official definition of photography. So if you break down the word photography, photo, which is the Latin word for light, photons. Graphy is drawing. So you are drawing with light. That's why it's called photography.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
I love seeing the light bulb just go on there.
Yeah.
I got chills.
Now,
multiply.
Man, we just left on the last section for talking about you're in film. You know really the difference between film and photography?
There's a lot of differences, a big difference.
But
also they're very
main difference.
One's a moving picture.
Exactly. It's just multiple pictures taken in very quick succession. That's all it really is.
So when we're talking in the film world, whenever you see like something like the Hobbit movies, okay, when those were coming out, it was a big, huge deal that those were being shot at 60 frames per second, I think is what it was. When the film standard since the 1920s was 24 frames per second.
Oh wow.
So when you look at an old film strip, when that film strip is swinging by that projector, it's moving at 24 frames per second, and that's usually where the human eye sits as far as things don't look as jerky or broken up, or they look a little bit more smooth. So that's basically what film has been for the longest time, even up to the digital era, where you're literally just looking at me just moving around is several pictures happening at the same time.
And that's why when you have stop motion photography, when you work with, for instance, if you're doing time lapse, a fast speed time lapse is 20 frames per second, because it's just enough that it's perceptible by our eyes that it's multiple frames as it goes through. When you do a slow time lapse, you're actually running more on the 12 to 13 frames per second rate. And that's what gets you that full time lapse motion. So for instance, I actually have a photo that I've got of the big boy when it was parked here in Hayes with star trails. For an hour and a half, I actually took successive photos all throughout that time. And I have a picture that actually adds each image in succession all the way through, and it's set to 13 frames per second. So you can see the entire motion as each individual image as it goes through the night.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So photography, videography, cinematography, video and film era all wrap into one very easily.
Yep.
That's awesome.
We're photographers. We're just isolating one of those cells, basically.
We just stop motion in time. That's all we do. We're time travelers.
Yeah.
As we should be.
Yeah. Now
you guys should be.
Well,
I'm learning.
You picked up a camera and you've taken a picture, right?
That I have.
Then you've successfully become a photographer. That's all it is.
Do that.
That's really all it is. If you've picked up even your phone, your cell phone, and you've taken a picture, that is photography. You are now a photographer.
I'll take it.
There you go.
I like fancy titles.
It does irritate me a little bit, though, that in the selfie stick era, that those people are still considered photographers as well. That's just personal.
Selfie sticks.
That's just a personal preference.
Do you remember we're gonna go on a tangent here.
That's
Do you
fine.
remember in the early 2000s where it was uncool to have a photo without the selfie stick in the photo? You had to hold up your arm and everything and have that stick come up. And if you didn't, and you just had your arm and didn't have the stick, you were too cheap because you didn't own a selfie stick. It was like 2004 to 2006.
A little bit later than that, but yeah, I think I remember. But
I don't.
Yeah, it was a selfie stick. I think was like maybe 2008, 2009, somewhere around there.
But yeah, because for me, I'm also youngish. You're younger than me, but
My few years.
we're both younger than Griff.
I'm older than all of you, but that's beside the point.
I don't think we figured out the full age range yet. I don't think we want to. I'm just old.
I'm last old.
You're last.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you and our technical director are going to be fighting over that title. But
Let's go. Let's go.
But we'll go ahead and go back to off of our tangent. What is the biggest thing that's interests you in photography?
I guess a couple different things. One of which is like dynamic angles.
Okay.
That's a big thing that I know with film. You want to have the right angle, because if you have the camera more down and the subject is like straight on, it's like
it's
powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's more camera above, looking down at the subject, it's more like looking down upon.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have a shot that's more just the face, because it captures all the different emotions, you can see every wrinkle, every line, like it's more dramatic. And I definitely want to learn a lot more about that, because that's about all I know. I don't know
think
much
we've
more.
touched on angles of
We
camera.
have
We've
not.
done people poses in the angles and light.
Yeah.
But no, we need to do camera.
We need to go back to basics. And speaking of basics, so
yes.
I'm going to pick your brain on this a little bit more. Here's a bigger question: why are the angles important to you? Why is capturing that the face shot an important thing?
I think, at least to me personally, it's because I feel like it shows more emotion. That's my thing.
You're on it. You're on it. That is the heart and soul of photography. Because Chris and I get lost in the weeds sometimes with the technical aspect of it. Like it's almost like a kind of a paint by numbers. But in reality, what you're doing is you are evoking an emotion. You are going for when we talk about photography in the fine art world kind of thing. I have a submission that's going into the art walk, and it's
an amazing submission, by the way.
Yeah. Now you just derailed me, but but it, like technically speaking, it probably could have been better, but that's not the point of it though too. Like conventional speaking wise, it's not framed, because there's a lot of people that are like, if we I might send the shot over to Abigail at some point, so we can pull it up and talk about it at some point, but it doesn't have to be this episode. But the idea is that like the subject within the shot is so small that it almost kind of like isolates her, but it also draws her into that shot, but there's a whole bunch of negative space kind of thing. And that's why I called the shot the cathedral, even though it was outside and in nature kind of thing. So that's why. But that's basically what it is evoking as an emotion, is that you're just capturing that moment, and that's, I think, what's drawing you into those angles and whatnot. It's the actor heart that comes in. One of the things that I love doing as a portrait photographer is actually working with actors and actresses, because I could just be like, give me longing, give me joy, give me, stuff like that.
Emotion range that we don't typically work with the general population that we work with.
Exactly.
But, well, we're going to have to take another quick break. When we get back, we kind of want to know a little more about your background in the film world. Okay. So we're going to kind of touch on that when we come back after these commercial breaks.
Welcome back into the Bokeh and Mocha podcast. Griff here. We're talking with Brooke and getting to know Brooke and the beginnings of her photography journey, even though, again, like we touched on the last segment, just picking up a camera automatically makes you a photographer. I think there's probably maybe a distinction, though. There's like, well, no. There's
different levels of photographer.
Photography with a lowercase p versus a capital P. That's what we'll go with there.
Like, we should come up with our own tier system, like entry level to advanced.
I'm pretty sure there's already
like a 2.
I'm pretty sure there's already an official one, but no, like truly, Brooke. I mean, I teach some street photography sessions and whatnot, and you can do it with a phone. You don't necessarily need to have a professional grade camera to do street photography.
Certain setting, or just kind of go for it.
Just go for it. That's all it is to it. I mean, before I even got my own professional camera, we talked a little bit about this off air, I guess is what we'll call it, where you already are familiar with the rule of thirds, how to frame a shot, and I mean, realistically speaking, like apparently that for some people that's the hardest thing to learn. It's the rule of thirds. So.
It absolutely is. And, touching back to your point on the phone for the camera, I teach general photography classes where you're in manual mode on the camera. So, but I'm also a very technical photographer. All the pictures that we've shown that I've done, it's very controlled settings, because that's how I learned. And the nice thing about photography is there really is no true wrong way of doing it. It's what you want to explain to others from your thought process through your eye.
Mhm.
The only true wrong way of doing it is leaving your lens cap on and taking pictures of nothing.
Well, yeah, a little bit.
But
Speaking from experience.
been there, done that.
Mhm. Completely forgetting your SD card.
That too.
Yeah.
I've got those moments when I go into out of town photo shoots.
You're 2 hours away, and yeah.
Yeah. I actually had one time where I went out and did a shoot, and I didn't bring my SD card box with me. And I get out there, and there's no SD card in my drone. I was so lucky that the dash cam in my car runs off of micro SD cards.
Oh
And
my
I literally
goodness.
took the dash cam's SD card out and put it in my drone just to complete the job. Because I was 3 hours away from my cards. Oh, I
Got
was
the job done.
barely by the hairs of my chin, I got that done. Now, we wanted to talk a little bit about your background, not just in photography, but as you are an actress,
Yes.
and you've been an actress in a couple of different, not just stage productions, but you've also been on film, correct?
Mhm. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about like what you go through, just what's in your mind when you're doing that.
Oh, what's in my mind? I couldn't even tell you that part because there's so much happening. Mostly just lines and who am I gonna meet? How many people are gonna be there? 'Cause that's always, the scary part. But yeah, no. I was in my very first film, actually this past fall. We shot with fantastic Eric Willis, our director. They're based out of Kansas City. So I drove down there every weekend. Thankfully got the main character. Still trying to figure out how that happened. I mean,
What's the name of the movie? Or
Yeah,
can you
let's say,
say?
I was gonna say, can you tell us the name of it?
Is there an NDA that we're?
yes. No, it's called Finding Tessa. Hoping it come out mid to late July, but we aren't
Okay.
set for sure yet.
So primary filming is done, and now we're in the editing process. We're in post-production. now.
Yes.
Theatrical release, home release, stream release.
It should be streaming.
Okay.
I don't know exactly on what. I've been told a few different things, but I'm not gonna say for certain because I don't know for sure. But I'm definitely super excited for it to come out. A lot of other people are excited. I know half my family asks me every time they see me, so when is it coming out? When is it coming out? I will let you know when I know. I gotta learn that first.
You just showed up and hit your cues and memorized your lines and stuff like that.
And the funniest thing is, I told the director, like, I don't know. Oh, it was one of the last weeks we filmed. I looked at him and I went, I never practiced my lines before the day of. I mean, I practice it the morning before I go in to shoot, and then I look at the next day's or the next weekend's lines right after, and that's it. I don't practice through the week.
Talent.
Yeah. Well, it's also intuition as well too. Brooke, how long have you been acting?
Now I've been acting for 15 years.
Oh, so you've been acting as long as I've been doing photography.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Except I've been doing stage acting. This was my only experience with film acting.
you still have to study lines.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel like it's a lot harder with stage acting because you have to have the entirety of the book memorized, while film, you do what I did and just
Film, you're also often shooting out of sequence.
very much. We, I think, started roughly in the middle. I have yet to see it. I'm also refusing to look at anything because I don't want any spoilers. I want to see it when everyone else sees it, to get that enjoyment as well. But yeah, I think we started filming. My very first day was right in the middle of the film, so
That's awesome.
I'm excited to see what it all looks like actually pieced together, because I see the pieces, but I don't see the full puzzle yet.
So,
And you probably, with your character being the main character, you're probably going to be in most of those pieces. So you kind of get the gist of how it's going to go.
A good majority, however, it's still hard for my brain to comprehend how we can shoot the very last scene before we shoot the middle, or shoot the middle before we shoot the first scene, and I'm like, it doesn't add up in my brain, but I know what the directors told me, and I'm overjoyed to actually see what it's like.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
Process.
Yeah.
So
hard part.
so to tie all of this back into photography, you know, I've done sound for you in a few stage productions as well too. You're a triple threat. You sing, you dance, you act. Yeah, exactly. And so what we're basically learning through photography is choreography in a way. You know, because you know, when a good example is when we were down filming during the art walk, and that great blue heron landed, and Chris and I just went immediately into like we're not taking our eyes off of it, but we're also pulling our cameras back out of our bags that we had just got done putting away, and quietly turning the lenses onto our cameras and taking the lens cap off, and
all muscle memory.
Memory.
Yep.
So, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of those things will transition in from your world too, from being on stage. I mean, what's nice about for you being on stage, you'll also get a perspective that's different than us. Because we've not been on stage. I tried once. I didn't do very well.
You were a tree, weren't you?
Huh?
You were a tree, weren't you?
No, I was actually a character with lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been a tree once.
We all start somewhere.
We were doing a little small production. One of my friends was actually making his own production of a film or a stage production, and about a week before we were supposed to do the opening, the location that we had chosen had closed down. And he was like, you know what? I think that's a sign that I'm just not going to do this anymore. But I was probably the only one that was really struggling to remember all my lines. And the same thing. It was a 45-minute production. I got through maybe about 10, 15 minutes of what I could remember, and everything else went, So after that, I took that as a sign of, I need to stay behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
But also, Brooke, when you're doing a production, when you're doing a film or a theater production, how accurate are you to your lines?
I'd say, well, okay, me personally or in general?
You personally.
Me personally, I try to stay as close to the lines as possible, because I have been told, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I've been told that, like, for example, Broadway actors, they get paid to do that. And for every line that they're off, it's an insult to the writer. Like if you change, I don't know, and to the, it still changes. It doesn't change the meaning, maybe, and you still get the full line point across. But it's an insult to the writers, what I've been told. So I'm like, okay, I gotta stay as much as on point as I can. So I definitely change lines, especially if in the moment you get caught up with the actual scene and you just completely blank on your line. We've all been there, done that.
Well, I guess that's the good thing about this show. It's not scripted. This is all just us talking.
Clearly.
Clearly. On all the tangents that we go on. Because I couldn't do a scripted show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fun.
But in those moments where you do improvise, though, that also allows you to put your own voice into the character as well, too, in that interpretation. And to once again tie it all back to photography, that's exactly the same way, putting your own voice onto the canvas, if you will. So, yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yep.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, everybody, welcome Brooke into the Bokeh and Mocha podcast. Let me turn to the right camera here. Welcome into Brooke to the Bokeh and Mocha podcast, officially speaking. That's all we're going to be doing today. But next week, we're going to dive into, I believe we're going to maybe get into a little bit of the actual business aspect of photography. But we have like all of these other ideas that we're going to be filming as well too. But stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe to stay up to date and know whenever we launch a new episode every single week on Friday. I think we've changed that now.
Friday.
Yep. So, but until then, thank you again for watching and listening to the Bokeh and Mocha podcast. Until then, keep shooting, keep sharing.